Hello everyone, this is Chris from Gbpusd Academy. I'm here to give a trade forecast for British pound, US dollar, Euro US dollar, and US dollar CAD. However, I'll be starting with Euro US dollar because among all of them, the king is Euro. Okay, if you observe, last week I spoke about this very trend line, and I said price has been respecting this very trend line. Of course, about two weeks ago, price broke to the upside above the trend line, and we traders were expecting that price was supposed to continue buying. However, we're disappointed because of there was news that was released um, um, from the European economy that there was going to be a reduction of interest rates to 25 basis points. And based on that reduction to 25 basis points, observe that the euro fell down. There became a interest rate differential. So it's not done necessarily because of their American economy is doing so well, but because this interest rate differential, that's why we have this fall coming to the downside. Of course, that is my opinion. Okay, so on the daily, we observe that price has come to the downside, and I will come to the 1 hour and I will say a number of things which I said in the previous video, which I need to correct. Actually, at this very zone over here, I expected price to go to the upside. Then, of course, to take away this very high, come to this very zone. This is a daily trend line, then come to this very side. Now, often at times, what will happen is that when you are bearish, just stick to bearish. When you are bullish, just stick to bullish. Now, this very trade which I took is a risky trade, not necessarily because I'm wrong. I think it was on Thursday about the news came out. The news that came out from US economy wasn't looking good at all, but the price still came to the downside. So this very week, I'm expecting price to move to the upside. I don't think price has any excuse to actually come to the downside because the news that come out this very week, it looks like the euro will edge the US dollar. But now that doesn't mean that we are now bullish. So whatever buy that we'll be buying probably this very week will be like an inducement. Obviously, if we expecting a lot of ranging markets, we're expecting price to move to the upside, but overall we are bearish. So that means in the long run, I'm expecting price will come to 1.08. Let me see, 1.08. That should be 16 or 17 there about the price will come to the downside. This is this is a level, a good POI level. Quality price can equally come to this very level, the price to come to the downside. Now, when we price do that, I actually don't know when price will do that. It could be this week, it could be next week, it could be next month. I don't know when price will do that, but definitely what we're expecting that price will go to the downside when price comes to this very low, comes to this very soon, price will come to the downside. But I doubt if it will happen this very week. So I took a buy here. I'm expecting that price will come back to to the upside before coming to the downside. I'm still on the drawdown in this very trade. I'm still holding this very trade. So on Euro US dollar, we are there. So if one says, okay, let me take a buy here, it's a risky buy. Why is it a risky buy? Because price will still decide to come down to the downside before moving to the upside, then going back to the downside. Let me go to the British pound US dollar. British pound US dollar, we observe that price has been respecting this very trend line to the upside. Of course, this is on the daily time frame. Now, at this very zone over here, we observe that actually we are having a this is March, the end of the first quarter. And what price did was that price came to this very zone, didn't take out the high of the first quarter. Price just came to this very zone. First thing it was an internal break of structure. Then of course it now came and gave external break of structure. Of course, this is one of my entry pattern in on the lower time frame, but I cannot take this because one, I'm taking this on the daily. The stop loss is going to be very, very huge. So last week British pound US dollar has given a bearish confirmation on the daily time frame, which I'm not surprised because usually what happens is that Euro first of all give a bearish confirmation, then British pound will follow, or Euro first give a bullish confirmation, then Euro will follow. That is how it has been. So I'm expecting price probably to feel this very imbalance and probably to come to the downside. So if I'm to come to the 1 hour, I observe that on the 1 hour, and come to the 1 hour, okay, we are having, this was a day's high, this is an imbalance. So I'm expecting that probably when price comes to this very zone over here, comes to this very zone over here, it may give, may be a good opportunity for me to sell the market. But definitely, I'm going to watch out to see what the market will definitely do, because price could go create an imbalance in that zone. Price could go create another high, sweep the high, then come to the downside. But on British pound, US dollar, we are bearish. So that means I'm expecting price to come to the downside. But price has to do that from definitely a supply zone. So if I go to the US dollar card, you observe that price has been respecting this very line, which I don't like very, very well, because it's more or less like a channel. And of course, below this very channel, we have a lot of liquidity, but we cannot wait for eternity for price to come to the downside. So we have to trade alongside this very channel. So we are bullish. Of course, last week, was it last week? Yeah, probably last week or last week. I can't remember. But there was a reduction of interest rate to 25 basis points thereabouts. So, and of course, that made US dollar more bullish. Please, I think, let me correct myself. When I said, I think for Euro US, that it was last week that the was it the last 2 weeks that there was a reduction of interest rates. So now, so expecting price to go to the upside too, because US dollar is definitely very, very bullish. So let's come to the 1 hour and let's see how we can trade this. The 1 hour, how we can trade this. Of course, for price to go to the upside, part things I'm expecting is that price needs to sweep liquidity, and we have this a low here. But this very low has not swept any high. This is the low that swept a high. So this is the low that price will need to sweep for me to get a bullish confirmation to the upside. Okay, please let me say this. Please, if you enjoyed this very forecast, please give a comment, subscribe. Let's grow this very channel. There are topics you want me to make videos on. You could probably talk about that. Then, of course, if you find this very, very helpful too, please you can give a thumbs up. So, thank you. We'll see you probably next week or during the week.